Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Cereal Box Reviews. I'm Ash here with Zach, and
hmm
today we have a double feature review, which is Spring Breakers and the Bling Ring, which came out in 2013, and it's a double feature because they both came out at the same time and they both have a lot of similarities. And they are also both the most early 2010s movies ever made. Also, with that is a movie we didn't even watch for the we didn't watch for this, and also a movie that we're not going to talk about today, which is Project X, which
hmm
belongs in that same bucket as the most early 2010s movies ever made. And uh yeah, um so we'll start with okay, I'll maybe before talking about the movies, uh first off, what did you think about both of these movies?
Um, well, there's for me a clear standout here, which is the Bling Ring. And it's a standout not only because I think I prefer it over Spring Breakers, which I do like,
Mhm.
but just um, I think it's still like a lesser Harmony Korine movie. And also because it's marked my coming around on Miss Sophia Coppola,
Mhm.
who I must confess, written off in the past at first, just because like, oh, whatever, her dad's Francis, which is a pretty normal reaction I think at first, but later on, just because I found some of her, even without seeing it, I admit, I felt her work would be too precious and like hyper modern, I guess.
Mhm.
But after having seen Marie Antoinette and liking it a couple years back, and now having seen this, I feel I'll put my Sophia disdain behind me, and I'm excited to check out more of her shit.
Um it's funny you say that because I have not uh came around to I guess like loving her, but I feel like one of these days I might uh really appreciate her. I This is actually the Bling Ring and Lost in Translation are the only so far Sophia movies so far I've actually liked. Um and I do want to rewatch Virgin Suicides. Uh I remember liking elements of Virgin Suicides, but I was ultimately like really I didn't really care for the rest of the movie, or I was like really bored by it. But uh yeah, Lost in Translation and The Bling Ring, the only ones I've liked. And actually, I recommended both these movies because these are actually both movies. I actually, the first time I watched both these movies, I actually didn't like both of these movies, but now that I rewatched both of them, I actually like both of them, and actually I like both of them quite a bit. Uh, uh, and also I've been having early nostalgia for that like time period, like early 2010s time period and stuff. And both these movies really capture that. I mean, they're filmed in that time period, but they really capture that time period perfectly, which is it's really weird because it's not that really not that long ago, but it's almost like a bygone era now. And so it's just kind of yeah, it's really interesting. It really takes me back to watching both these movies. Like both these movies reminded me of middle school and like early high school
Yeah.
a lot. And um yeah, and uh but yeah, so uh but I actually am probably with I actually like the Bling Ring more. I think. And it's so, but both these movies, uh, they have their like cult followings and stuff, but they're both considered by I think critically and stuff like that. They're both considered bad movies, and also
Mhm.
they, uh, um, yeah, but they have a cult following. But majority of people will say Spring Breakers is better, and yeah, and yeah, I don't know, but yeah, so yeah, I like Bling Ring actually a bit better. Uh, and
Mm.
people consider it. A lot of people consider the Bling Ring Sophia's like worst movie and stuff, which I don't know like why or like
That's interesting.
why people hate it so much. I can get if you don't really care for it, but like hate it, I don't know. Like it's not there's not like to me there's
I
not a
don't.
lot to hate
Yeah,
about it. I don't know.
I don't think either of these movies are like movies that like yeah, as you were saying, I can get like it not being your vibe or whatever, but like they're very like well crafted and like pretty generally well acted. Like maybe
Hmm.
not like blow away performances or whatever. That's not really the whatever spice of them. But I mean, unless you just like really don't like being reminded of like whatever earlier digital photography and like I don't know teenagers doing cocaine, then I don't get how you really hate of these
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, they're pretty.
Also I didn't realize, but I recommend Spring Breakers when like spring break is coming up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think this month. I think, yeah. So
oh shit.
I guess it was perfect timing.
Yeah,
But
good job.
uh yeah, so uh I'm gonna start I'm gonna start in chronological order when these movies are released. I'm gonna start with Spring Breakers. Um
Hmm.
so yeah, the Spring Breakers, well it came out in 2012. It technically came out in 2012, but it was released to theaters across the nation in 2013. I do remember when this movie came out. I remember when like seeing the uh like a lot of the promotional stuff, like even like in movie theaters at the time. Because this it's weird because this is a Harmony Korine was actually like shown in like not like small theater, like I think it was
Yeah,
shown in like
yeah,
an AMC theaters and stuff like
yeah.
that. Like it was yeah. And
Mm.
also we have to note this is the first A20. These are both A24 movies actually, but this is the first A24 movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's interesting. I never really looked into how Harmony and A24 like came together because like weren't they like just distributors or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And so so this movie it's very much just about uh I'm trying to, I don't even have the full cast full. It's Selena Gomez and
Rachel
Vanessa
Green.
Hudgens and who else? I'm trying to remember the full cast.
Rachel Green.
Rachel Corrine and then their names. Dude, what's her name? I know what it is. I know what it is. What is it? What is it? What is it? It is Ashley Benson
Mhm.
and yeah, and then James Franco appears later in the movie, but uh yeah, so it's about these girls that are in college and somewhere I think they're like in Alabama or something. There's somewhere like that, and there's nothing to do, and they're bored. They want to go to the actually spring break, and but they don't have any money. So what they decide to do is they decide to rob a it's like a restaurant, a diner or whatever, and then they have the money, and then they go to Florida to have their spring break and have
Uh-huh.
fun and be degenerates and what you do in spring break in Florida. And so, and then later they get arrested for their crimes, and they meet James Franco as a rapper named Alien, that veils him
Right,
out,
right.
and yeah, then you just kind of go on from there. Um, yeah. So yeah,
You're my shit.
the girls. So the girls are besides Selena Gomez, the girls are like very uh kind of like I don't know how what I describe them like they're very they're all about partying. They're very like I guess free spirited, I guess. And while Selena Gomez is more anxious, she's a Christian. Uh, she's a little more she's more cautious than the other girls. And then James Franco, even though it
Hey,
wasn't based on him, he just pretty much plays riff raff or like any other
mm.
rapper like that from the time. And yeah, and yeah. So uh oh yeah, what did you think about James Franco's performance?
Let me just say, his finest hour.
Yeah.
His finest hour. Um, it's an undeniably enjoyable performance. Like, I don't know who wouldn't like be somewhat like drawn into this oddball's life. Um, uh, he probably the only time he's ever like done that whole like disappearing into a role thing.
Mhm.
Like, not that he hasn't done methody shit before or whatever, I'm sure he has, and he's failed because he's not a very good actor, all in
No.
all, from what I've seen. But he exudes such a fun, like, fucking just flavor, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's just coated in it, you know? He's just like a fucking kid with like Dorito dust all over his hands. You know, it's just he really
Hmm.
breathes it, breathes it.
Yeah. Uh my favorite line he says I like the part where when he meets the girls and they're all like like who's this guy or whatever, and he's like, why y'all acting suspicious?
Why y'all acting suspicious? Oh man, I love that accent. I love
Yeah.
that just wigger trash accent.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
want
like
busting
with this
this
movie.
together?
This movie like totally captures that like Wigger time period.
Oh my god, the wigger era for
Because the
real.
one film was oh sorry. There. Now it's
What?
back. My microphone
Oh,
disconnected. Uh
damn.
um but no, it captures I mean it was filmed during that era, so yeah, it totally just captures that fucking era. That's why like people shouldn't be afraid of like doing a movie that takes place in that's not a period piece because eventually it will become a period piece. So yeah, don't be
Yeah.
afraid of filming things in the present. And yeah, and um, what did you think about the women's performances?
Uh, well, most of them, no, just Selena Gomez isn't a good actress, and
Hmm.
I felt she's was kind of the weakest link
Yeah.
because even though like Harmony is really good at like getting like performances out of actors and I guess non-actors, that like even though you can tell they're like acting kinda, or you can tell
Hmm.
that they're just like trying to not disappoint the director or whatever, there's always like some sort of like character like within themselves that can kind of shine through a little bit.
Hmm.
I mean, at least when it counts, but I feel with her that never really happens.
Right.
So I think it was sort of a misstep casting her,
Mm.
but I can also appreciate the sort of pop art value of
Hmm.
having that person playing this role in this movie. But
Hmm.
like she doesn't fit in as smoothly as like Vanessa Hudgens or whatever her name is, or the other
Yeah.
chick, or his wife, or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, his wife, notably the only one of the leads showing her breasts at all. What's up with that?
Yeah. I thought uh Was it Ashley Benson? I think showed her boobs too.
Oh,
I think she's the other. There's one of the other ones that did. It was definitely not Selena, but one
no,
of the
yeah,
other ones
not in
did.
the contract, yeah.
There's a
It
scene where she was like laying down or whatever. I think they're throwing coke off of her. I don't think that was
that's
Harley's.
Rachel, I thought.
Okay, but there's another scene with like boobs, and it was definitely not Rachel. It was one of the other girls
Hmm.
briefly. I'm trying to
Yeah, they
remember.
should have been naked more. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, like, this is kind of a point that's like been gone over, or whatever, but it's worth noting. I guess, like, I don't know, they were all legal, and like I feel
Mm-hmm,
like most of them have done like nude scenes before,
mm-hmm.
but whatevs.
We're her we're
James Franco should have had a nude scene. What?
yeah, we're Selena
Selena.
and Italian Selena Gomez. Or Selena and JB dating at this time? Or did they just break up? And makes me
Fuck, I
wonder.
don't know. I feel like they only dated when they were like kids, but I'm not sure.
Hold on, let me look this up.
Yeah,
Let's
this is very
see.
important info for the time period.
Justin Bieber relationship. On and off relationship, that's what I thought. From December 2010 to March 2018. I forgot. I forgot they did hook up back up uh a while there, like 5 years ago. I totally forgot about that.
I
Uh
forgot about that too. Funny.
okay, so yes and no. I don't know. Yeah, because I was wondering because I felt maybe that's had some influence. I wonder what Justin Bieber thinks about this movie. He's definitely seen it.
Yeah, he's jerked off to it.
He probably has.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Poor guy. Rest in peace to his face.
What happened to his face? He just has a shitty beard, I thought.
No, he has like Bell's palsy, but no, he has something else. I think he has like a face paralysis thing.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
Is it serious? Whatever.
yeah. No, he's had it for a while now. Like it
Oh,
doesn't seem like it's going away unless he gets like I don't know, maybe like weird plastic surgery or something. Fix it.
well, good luck to Biebs.
Yeah,
We wish him well.
I wish him well.
Uh,
Uh, yeah, but oh yeah. So like, James Franco, he just shows up later in the movie. And also Selena Gomez and Rachel leave during the movie. And do you think that the movie got worse when they left, or do you think it got better, or was it just whatever when they left? Or
um, I mean, I feel like I do kind of wish that God, I have mixed feelings on it because of a part of me appreciates the like anti-climax of that, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, a more traditional, I don't know, plot through would have been cool. I mean, I just wish Rachel was still there.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I actually think the movie kind of got actually a bit worse, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of actually some of I think the ending scene is actually really good. I like the way it's shot with all the neon lights and stuff. They're in the dark.
Mm.
I really like that. Uh, yeah. I also think it's interesting about this movie. This movie's like the most, like it's almost the most on the narrative level, like normal, straightforward Harmony Korean movie.
I mean, yeah, but it's all like chopped and screwed.
Yeah,
You could, but it's like if you wanted to like assemble it into a more linear cut, you technically could in a way that you couldn't with like whatever
Gummo.
Gummo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's what makes this one interesting. I think the beach one's pretty straightforward, but that still has like scenes that are like you can
That
tell
was
Harmony.
later though. That was when he had already like kind of caught the bug a little bit. But
Yeah, but
Beach
that
Bum
beach
is
bum.
done in a different way, but it's the same general like theory of like liquid.
Yeah, like that scene still it has a very restricted, but that's still vignettes pretty
Yeah.
much, like, and beach one, like the shark scene, like that has you really like that's the thing. You could argue if you're watching these movies in like a very traditional narrative structure, like you could argue that the search scene and beach bone doesn't even need to be there, but you want it to be. But when you're watching one of these movies, you want that to be in there. You don't want it cut out or anything. And so, yeah. But this one doesn't really have a lot of scenes, in my opinion, that feel like it's just like extra or anything. It's it seems pretty. The movie seems pretty well like thought out and stuff, and um, there isn't anything like too crazy or. I mean, there's stuff that happens, but it isn't really that crazy or weird of a movie like a lot of his other movies and stuff. And yeah, um, uh, uh, oh, what? So when the girls leave in the middle of the movie, and it's James Franco and Vanessa Hudgens and Ashley Benson, what did you think about the scene with the sexual scene with the guns?
Oh yeah, when he sucks off the gun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um
I just said out loud, he's just like me for real.
You and all your e-girlfriends.
Yeah,
Um,
I should make that a meme.
you should.
Ring breakers.
Um fuck. I mean, it's a fun little moment. I
Yeah,
think we can all agree. It's a standout. I think that James Franco should suck on pistols in all of his movies. He should have done it in the 124 whatever
he
hours.
should have did it in Spider-Man.
Yeah. He should have. He should have. He should have sucked on Tobey Maguire's
Fuck.
yeah. Yeah. Um yeah. No, yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's any deeper meaning to it. This is why I like Harmony's movies because they're actually all feeling it. And like a lot of directors like to say
It's
shit
almost like
like,
it's actually more like real life. There
yeah,
isn't an explanation for everything in real life.
yeah, there's it's not everything
Things just
symbolic and
happen.
shit. It's just like, yeah, gut reactions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we talked 824.
I feel like a lot of filmmakers, I'm sorry, I just had this dumbass thought and I want to put it out, are like obsessed whether or not they write their scripts with like being writerly.
Mhm,
And they want to like make the great American novel, but like it's going to be a movie or whatever.
mhm,
And so they really suck themselves off over all like symbolism and like very literary
mhm,
practices and shit. Not even like theater, but literary. And I
mhm,
feel like Harmony is special because he's like someone who's not at all that.
mhm,
Even his book wasn't like a book, it wasn't literary. It was all
mhm.
feeling and just image, idea, whatever. And so, yeah.
What did you think about the soundtrack of this movie?
Oh fuck, I love Skrillex. I mean, I don't know. Here, wait, actually I have a tab pulled up here. Let's look at some of the
Oh,
songs.
okay. I have to say this. When that fucking The Light song played at the end of the credits, I actually laughed out loud. I was like, dude, that is so perfect. That is like screams this time period. That voice.
Yeah, yeah.
When I heard that doo doo doo, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's very funny, yes.
You know what missing? It needed in the soundtrack, it needed like a G6. Like, how did song not get in the soundtrack?
Shit,
That
wait,
that
G
song fits. That song would fit perfectly with this movie.
wait,
That
how does
song.
that go?
That song fits with this movie. It's just the
Sing it
like a
for me.
G6. The chick sings like a G6, like a G6, like a G6. I don't know.
Not I don't remember that.
Then there's that guy rapping in the song. He's like
Mm.
talking about getting drunk or so. I'm trying to remember the lyrics, but yeah,
Who's Cliff Martinez?
that song sounds like that was a really popular song at the time. But that song, the way this movie looks like what the song would probably like look like. I don't
Yeah,
know. Like
yeah.
it's so I don't even know. I don't know. But maybe they tried, but they couldn't get the rights or something weird. But uh yeah, what was the soundtrack? So there's Skrillex, there was it Ellie Goulding or whatever that chick's name is? Uh
L
Elle
Golding,
Goulding.
yeah,
Yeah, Elle Goulding.
or Ellie, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So who was else is in the soundtrack? Was it like uh was there any
A lot of
standout?
Skrillex. Any what?
Was there any more standout like performers?
Waka Flocka Flocka
Oh yeah,
Flame.
yeah, yeah.
Up. His songs "Fuck This Industry,"
And
"Young
young
Niggas,"
niggas.
and "Young Niggas." Not those old
Cliff
niggas.
Martinez. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Dangerous.
we'll talk about Bling Ring later, but that one I think had more like epic soundtrack, like more of a standout soundtrack for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That soundtrack
I
is
recognize more songs.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Um, I was
yeah,
actually whatever. I'm sorry. We'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to it. What were you saying?
um I was just gonna move on to another topic or like about this movie. Um I don't even know what I just MLP. I don't even know what I just wrote in my notes. What the fuck? I also really like the opening and the scenes with all the spring breakers, all of their boobs hanging out, board
Yeah, great
beer
opening.
poured all over the yeah, and it's
Great
actually
tone.
like very beautifully shot too.
It is indeed.
Yes, yes, yes. Um. Uh. Uh. Now I'm just going through my notes, like stuff we haven't talked about. My favorite line in this movie is I think Vanessa Hudgens says it. It's when they're robbing the diner or whatever, or she's like, just pretend it's a video game or it's a movie. Uh, I'm paraphrasing, but something like just pretend it's a video game, or we're characters in like in a movie. Can't We can't be scared of shit or whatever. I don't know. I really like that line.
It fits with the general
Yeah,
theme. Yeah.
yeah, and it's good. It's good life advice in general too. I'm not mean that in a sarcastic way, but once you start viewing your life as a video game or something like that, then it's a lot easier to live. Uh, what else did we talk about? Okay, I think we talked about most of the notes I wrote. Do you have anything else to talk about with this movie?
Um.
How does this compare with his other movies?
That's a great question, Charlie.
How does this how does this compare with his other movie? I can't do a Charlie Rose.
Harmony, how does this compare to your other films? And I would like to ask, what does Selena Gomez's pussy taste like? Well, Charlie, yeah. Or that's not what Harmony Korine sounds like.
Now
Um,
wait, hold it. You're this guy who tastes Chloe 70's pussy. Is that correct?
so you could argue that if Vincent Gallo were to have made the Brown Bunny about a particular person, you could argue it's something of a character study on you. You could say that.
I don't know.
Well, FC Field said, or whatever the fuck he would say. I don't know.
No, just he always goes like, no, just submit it. Or like he's always very like forceful and like fucking
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
If you were to say that, like he always like if like a artist like downplays himself, he always has to go like, no, but you are, impactful or whatever. He always has to.
But you are a faggot.
He says he says
Well,
like
yeah.
Roger Ebert liked your films. He always has to do that in an interview.
Yeah. He's such a. Anyway, what was the question?
How does this compare with his other movies?
Well, I guess it was like the beginning of his current like era of like Florida fucking like debauchery as opposed to Nashville degeneracy that he had worked with previously. Um I mean they're like actual people now, I guess, but I haven't seen Mr. Lonely, so I couldn't say for sure.
I uh I I didn't finish watching it, not because I turned it off or anything, like because I disliked it. Because um I forgot
Life
what
just came.
happened. I know I had to like leave somewhere. I don't
Yeah,
remember. I got
sure.
and then I like stopped it and then I was gonna watch it later, but then I completely forgot. A lot of stuff happened and I completely forgot I even watched it, kind of thing. So I
Sure.
watched like 40 minutes of that movie.
I'd like to watch
And
it. I really.
I remember it, like I liking a lot of like I actually think it's my favorite of his movies in terms of visuals, maybe. I think it's like his best shot movie, probably. But
Mhm.
I remember not really like it was okay, I guess. The only thing I liked that stood out was the scene where like the nuns are like flying out of an airplane.
Right, with Werner and the plane and
That was
shit.
kind of the only like really standout thing. Like a lot of the movie, there's actually a lot of like talking and stuff. It was I don't know.
I really want to watch it because I want to see him do something other than what I've seen him do so far, you know. But no, yeah, from what I can tell, just having seen like Gummo and shit, he used to have characters which were like there to like do things and say things, which is fine. But I really like that he's since then like developed more of interest in character and how character can also like produce whatever he's wants to produce, you know.
Right.
So
This is like
yeah.
probably like my fourth favorite movie from him.
Yeah. It I would play Speech Bum and Gummo over it.
Yeah, I also placed a Julian Donkey Boy over.
I haven't seen Julian yet. I really would like to see Julian.
Yeah, I like
And
that
I
one.
don't think I need to watch Trash Humpers.
I've yeah. Don't, I mean, you can. I've seen it. It's not. I mean, I never sat through the whole thing. I don't think it's just. It's like
You just wanted to have some fun and it's fine.
yeah. It's what you think it is. I mean, it's like really hard to criticize because he just made what he wanted. That was his whole thing. So I don't. That is the whole purpose of the movie. So I don't. I don't know. But yeah, it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we can move on. To the Bling Ring. Uh,
Indeed.
and so um, yeah, the Bling Ring. This movie is directed by Sofia Coppola and is based off of the real life quote unquote Bling Ring that were these teenagers that broke into the burglarized fucking celebrities' houses and then um and then they got arrested eventually. And so yeah, and I didn't really recognize the only person I Emma Watson's in this, but yeah, I don't know the other. I've never heard of the other people that were in
Um,
there.
Me neither. I was looking. Isn't doesn't am I crazy or did Kirsten have a cameo?
Yeah, no, she's in the club in the background. Like that's Kirsten Dunst or
Right.
the
That's really
celebrities. Yeah,
funny.
Paris
Actually,
Hilton.
that's kind of funny.
It's weird too because there's a Vincent Gallo connection because Sofia Coppola directed it, and
Mhm.
then Paris Hilton and Kirsten Dunst are the cameo.
I know. I noticed that too. It's funny.
I thought he should have been a cameo in this at the
I
club or something.
agree
They should have a thing where like they took a picture with him or something.
that. Oh my God, guys! It's Vincent Gallo who makes our
And
favorite
he could have
movies.
easily. That's the thing about this movie. He could have easily. I mean, at the time, he could have easily been in the club at the same time as them, easily.
Yeah,
And so,
being
yeah,
sad because they're
yeah.
playing shitty music. Yeah. Actually, I remember 212 coming on and being like, "Fuck yeah!"
um, yeah. I do, and you said it too, but I do like this movie better than Spring Breakers.
It's more
But
traditional, certainly.
yeah, I think this movie is so fucking, I think, entertaining.
I
I
agree.
think it's a funny movie as well. I think yeah, it's just an entertaining movie, and it's a movie I don't like take seriously when I watch it. And I think the dialogue is really funny in this movie. Uh like the uh I think that's why too, like a lot of people I think maybe took it too seriously or thought like it's they didn't really see a lot of the irony in it and stuff. It's funny
Right.
because like this is a movie that's like targeted and almost satirizes like Tumblr girls and like from that time period and like yeah. And
Mhm.
the only thing the thing that was missing in this movie was there's no Lana Del Rey in the soundtrack. Should
I
have.
was hoping for some Lana
Yeah,
myself. Yeah.
yeah,
This
because
Born to Die was like begging to come on.
yeah, it would have fit. And these girls are almost like Lana Del Rey fangirl, like what I picture a lot of them are like. Yeah.
I that's interesting. I don't know. I feel like
I
these
think
girls
from the period,
think Lana was too lame.
from
Yeah,
the
maybe.
period,
Yeah. Like when just because like she was really popping off at that point.
mhm,
Yeah.
from
They
that
she would have
period.
been lost at ultra violence though. Yeah.
Yeah,
All the time.
but I think the dialogue is so fucking funny. The Leslie, it's like, girls, time for your Adderall. And
And she's all into The Secret and shit. So
yeah,
fucking too
yeah,
dumb.
and I actually like Emma Watson in this movie a lot. I think I like her. Uh, this is a total this is a total Red Scare movie too.
Yeah.
uh,
It is. Yeah.
and I like Emma Watson. The classic. I want to rob, and I also like to. You're stressing me out.
Yeah. You're really hurting me. That was, yeah.
And I feel like
She plays
if
it
this,
so well.
I feel
Yeah.
like too, if because this came out in 2013, like because I think Dasha and Watson are like the same age. Like I could easily see Dasha playing that role too.
Oh my God, she would have been fucking
She
great,
is Emma
honestly.
Watson in this movie reminds me of Dasha. That's what she reminds me.
Yeah, she had more of that. I remember thinking, wow, she really is doing this accent like very well,
Yeah,
considering she's British.
yeah, yeah. And uh, but I also think she's. I I've always thought she was pretty and stuff, but I was like really attracted to her in this movie, maybe for the right and wrong reasons, because also the character and stuff. That's why I said
Yeah,
also wrong reasons. Yeah,
yeah, she's very pretty. In it, I've never been a big fan of hers. I've always found her like uninteresting and at best, and mildly
yeah,
grating at worst.
yeah,
But I found her to be quite compelling and fit beautifully with the tone and theme of
yeah.
the picture.
Well, that's what I
So
like about this movie, and it's also why I like Spring Breakers. With this movie, when I was talking about early 2010s, this movie's way more because to me, Spring Breakers it just kind of captures that like that kind of rave culture wigger. So it's a very it's very like zoomed in to that very specific part of that time period, but this is more broader, and I feel like it like this perfectly captures that time period. Like even the way like the characters dress and stuff reminded me of people like how people I knew like in middle school, stuff like that, and um, even how the characters act and talk and stuff reminded me of people I've known. I remember people like this, and so it's kind of
Yes.
yeah, so it's kind of interesting and yeah, and also like I because I've been having like early 2010s, not just early 2010s, even like some like 2000s ish, like nostalgia and stuff, um
Mm.
and also like it like the quote unquote indie sleaze era. Like this movie kind of perfectly captures like that sort of like era and stuff. Like this movie, we
Yeah.
talk about Vincent Gallo. Like we needed like Terry Richardson, the cameo, especially should have been in this movie.
Oh
Like
man,
it just
Terry would have been
happened.
so hard.
It would have you know, it's just like like it just captures that time period, and I that's what I do like about this movie, uh and I do think too, because this movie's not really that well received, and a lot of people don't really talk about it. But I do think in 10 years, from 10 years from now, I think this actually will be a cult movie.
I could see that. I'm
Yeah,
really like it now that yeah.
especially since like 20 or 30 years after this movie, after
Right.
the movie came out, I do feel like that this will like be like a nostalgic type time capsule type movie and stuff. Like how people watch it won't probably won't be as big, but you know how people watch like Clueless and stuff like that's a
60
time
and
that's a time
yeah.
capsule. Like it'll be kind of a similar thing to that. Like this is such a time capsule for that time
Exactly,
period.
yeah.
Also with the whole Paris Hilton thing, yeah, I do see this being uh, a cult time capsule movie in the future.
Yeah.
Even though that's how I view it now, but yeah, uh,
Mhm. It'll be more
yeah,
broadly seen as that, you feel maybe.
yeah. Also, too, I
I
think people
like
will appreciate it because it is not an actual bad movie, though. So I think that
it's
people will
very
appreciate
well
it.
it's well told story, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I really enjoyed the, when they went on the computer or whatever, and those scenes are always the worst in any movie,
Hmm.
when they have to, like, put the camera on a fucking computer screen, because it's inherently, like, uninteresting to look at. But it was interesting to me because the images were so fucking gross looking and just like shitty digital fucking trash. And
Yeah.
like I really respect just like putting that on the screen like frequently.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Also too, like I don't know. It also because it's a time capsule thing, so it's like realistic because well, also the movie. So it's weird because all this stuff happened in like I think like the late 2000s or something, but the movie's like
yeah,
filmed. Even the soundtrack is uh like a lot of the songs that came out like way later, and so uh
but that doesn't
and
it still works.
but
Yeah.
also like they still throw in like I don't know, it's kind of it's just kind of a weird movie, like but like the whole like they even show videos that are like low res and stuff. That's why I like it because
Exactly,
it
yeah.
captures it just captures that time period when like video like watch shittier looking and stuff, and so it's just yeah, it's just interesting. Uh yeah, uh yeah, we talk about Emma Watson a lot. I I think the characters, even like especially actually I did kind of like the what's her name? The main
Rachel
chick,
or something?
Rachel, yeah. I like that actor. I thought she did her character was like compelling, but
I agree.
I think and the main guy did his job and stuff, but they all
He
did
did
their
good.
job, but and I thought they all did a good job, but yeah, I think or sort of Emma Watson just sticks out. She just has more like the more like lines and
Yeah,
uh
she's the
just kind of
biggest name in it, I think.
yeah.
I about the guy, I would agree that for the most part, and you can correct me if this isn't your view or whatever, but like he was just like kind of like, doing his job, playing his number or whatever. But
Mhm.
there was one little scene, like when he's getting arrested, which is of course the scene for any actor to shine or whatever.
Mhm.
But I do remember him looking like he's almost gonna cry, but he's kind of holding it in because he was kind of
Oh yeah, I
expecting
remember
it.
that.
Like
Yeah.
that one made me like think like, what's this guy thinking? And it made me have his thoughts in my head, and I think
Mhm.
that's what a great performance does.
And is his now I don't know about the real life guy that much, but
I know a little bit.
is his character supposed to I think they might mention it in might make a joke about it, but they never really come out and say it, but is he like supposed to be gay?
I think he is gay.
And he
Um,
might be in real life? I'm not sure.
I remember
So,
watching something about it when I was very like young. I don't
mhm.
know, like I don't remember when exactly the shit went down. But wait, like no, I wouldn't have heard it like then, but like maybe more around the time the movie came out,
Uh,
I watched something about it and I remember that he was like I think gay and like having
okay.
troubles with that.
Yeah, because they don't talk
I
about
could
in
be
the
making stuff.
they don't talk about in the movie, but they made a joke. Like they made like he was wearing these heel or something, and it's like, yeah, you could find
Look at the wait, the boys at school should see you now or
yeah,
something.
yeah. And because in the movie they don't really like he doesn't really seem like that like really attractive. You kind of get the maybe the impression at first meets Rachel, but later he's not even really like he doesn't care about fucking them or like he just likes hanging out like and yeah and so and I've read people like reviews where they say like they mention something about him being gay, and so I think it's like it's just a given, I guess. Like they don't come out and say it, which I think that's the best thing to do because I guess there really isn't a reason for the movie to come out and say it. And also when movies do that, it's like always like unnecessary and lame.
Yeah.
And so it's just a given. Like he's in a fashion and all this and hang out with these celebrity gossip culture, hang out with these
Yeah.
girls.
Oh, by
Uh
the way, I'm
yeah.
gay and that's why I steal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh um
I think
yeah.
they play it gracefully. This, despite all its excess, it does do the quieter scenes tremendously well. Like when one of the girls is sitting at breakfast and she hears in the distance the cop cars coming, and like the mom doesn't think anything of it and just like says, "Quiet down" to the dog
Mhm.
who's barking. But like you can see her, it's at a nice distance. You can see her with her family surrounding her,
Mhm.
like her attention like growing and growing and fear growing and growing as the siren gets louder and louder. That I thought was pretty
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic.
that was good.
Yeah. I love little moments like that. I really do.
I think this is a movie too that people, because I had the same first impression before I even watched it. I was like, "Oh, this movie sounds gay. I don't know what." Like, and that's a lot of people's reactions to this movie. And I think that if you actually sat down anybody to watch this movie, I actually think that most people, if you actually sat anybody down, they would like be like, you know what, this actually was an entertaining movie. Like
Yeah.
because
It's funny.
it's not really not a bad. And what I didn't like it the first time, it was I actually the first time I watched it, I actually liked the first half, but I didn't really like the second half or the climax that much. And that's why I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
this is kind of like, kind of petered out. The but now I actually don't mind it. Now that I've seen the movie and stuff, I don't mind it. It doesn't bother. Nothing bothers me. But uh, yeah, yeah. Also, we haven't talked about the soundtrack of this movie. This actually kind of has a pretty epic
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Super
Uh,
Rich Kids. I don't remember that playing.
I don't either.
Maybe it's like in the deep credits or some shit. Good
All of the
song.
lights,
Great song.
Bad Girls, yeah, Sunshine, right,
They have
right,
a song by
and I
Can.
bit low.
I don't think I even
I don't
recognized
remember the
that at
can
the
one
time.
either. Gucci
That's
bag,
cool that
dead
it's in there
mouse.
randomly.
I remember the power on you. Oh yeah, Azalea
I have
Banks.
Dosh's ex.
He
What?
he definitely needed Azalea Banks in the soundtrack.
Yeah,
But I was saying the only thing missing is Lana. That's
I
so
agree. Yeah, big misstep. Big misstep.
yeah, like I said with Spring Breakers, like a G6 was missing. Like this one's missing Lana. And
Yeah,
yeah. Uh
pity.
I actually think this movie has a better soundtrack than Spring Breakers too.
I would agree. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, I would. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Um I'm trying to think what else to talk about with this film. Uh hmm. I actually didn't write notes for this one just because uh I actually came up with the idea of this podcast like immediately after I watched it. So and I didn't feel like watching it again. So yeah. Um and I actually watched it a third time, so afterwards. So yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have anything else to say about the bling ring? The bling bling ring?
Um, s- the social media aspects of it and the reality TV, whatever aspects are interesting, and I think a good like period piece, so to speak, which this technically is kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that makes it different from being like a movie that's basically made at the same time, that makes it dated feeling or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's I feel like it's all done in a way that like you don't feel like, oh well, this is just like what was that show about the house people? They
Oh,
live in a house or whatever, and when you hear about it
uh,
now, you just think, oh, that's just some gay show from this.
the Real
Hang
Housewives.
on a second, hang on a second. Um,
The Real Housewives,
Sorry. I gotta get up soon. But yeah, sure, The Real Housewives and
or
God,
the Real World.
The Real World. That's more my what I was saying. Yeah,
MILF Manor.
MILF Man. Yeah. Well, yeah, but like if this movie just like showed all that, it would have been like just like, oh, this is just some all right, this is fine, but it's still kind of whatever. This doesn't really ring true anymore. But because I don't know if Sophia recognized that it would be just a passing trend and it would be more like internet focused because there's definitely more focus on like social media and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it wouldn't have been as relevant today, you know, because it is still relevant despite being like a time capsule sort of a
Also,
thing.
I'd like too that in this movie they're using Facebook because that reminds me exactly of this time period with all the girls on my Facebook that would like
Yeah,
write
yeah,
like have uh when they would like because now Facebook is used by like either boomers or unhinged, mentally ill, unhinged shit posting Zoomer types, but like
right,
when it was like normie
yeah.
girls like posting like pictures and
Right,
writing
with
like
her bags and shit, was
truth
going out
is
with moi.
writing truth is posts and
Right.
yeah, it just reminds me of like that time period a lot
Mhm.
and um yeah,
Hey, she
it's a nostalgic film.
give me a second. All right, can you give me a quick sec? Can we pause it?
Yeah.
Yeah. O- Okay.
So any final thoughts on this
Um,
film or these films or anything?
I think that I wonder how this film went over at Cannes.
Ooh.
because I'm pretty sure this is where it had its world premiere. Okay,
Mhm.
and I can't imagine. Maybe it was different by the 2010s, but like I just picture like the stuffy, like gay, like the woman. Did you see that video of Quentin winning the like whatever Palme d'Or for like Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
And the ladies going like, "Cause was Krakowski, Pulp Fiction is mad." That's German. Um, but uh, but just like losing her fucking mind because of this like, albeit admittedly kind of mid, but like little fucking action film from America winning. So I can't imagine this particular picture going over all that well in
Uh-huh.
that environment. But whatever. Yeah.
Vance upon a time in Hollywood got that 20-minute the awkward standing ovation for
Oh
that
my god.
video.
I wish they would just still like boo every fucking movie because at least then they had like some balls or whatever.
Where they did like close-ups on like Tarantino and like Brad Pitt in them.
Yeah. And like they know it's bullshit at this point, so they're not gonna like start crying. It's like, oh my
No.
god, I really did something here.
No,
They
they
know.
all been through it. So yeah. They're like, whatever. Yeah.
Mhm. God.
When you're constantly told you're the best, you're the best, you're the best every fucking day, that they're
Yeah.
desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Spring Breakers and Bling Ring are the most early 2010s movies, along with Project X.
Mhm.
And I've actually never seen Project X. I've just seen a bunch of clips from it, and I didn't watch it when it came out. But I remember kids at my school were like, "Oh my god, so and so's going to throw a Project X type party," and of course, it never happened.
That's so gay.
Yeah, that's why I never watched the movie when it came out. I was like, "Oh, that's the normie movie." That's what
Yeah.
that's. But I have nostalgia for that time period now.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder.
Uh,
I don't know. I'd be interested to see someone now do one of those movies. Like examine
yeah,
that time, see if there's anything to glean from it or whatever.
yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for
Like,
listening, friends.
subscribe, favorite, dislike, comment death threats, and I'll
Send
see
Ash
you.
pictures of your penis.
Yes, on radical at radical sheep at Instagram.com.
That's right.
Amazing. All right.
Amazing. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.